Hello, this is Paul from debatetheleft.com. What is the most ridiculous thing about political correctness? The most ridiculous thing is the double standard that is ingrained within it. This double standard works as follows. The behavior of native Europeans is seen as the result of their own choices. They are responsible for their own actions and are judged accordingly on these actions. But the behavior of quote-unquote minorities is seen as being the result of external circumstances, such as socio-economic factors, geopolitical grievances, the estimated degree of racism in the society, and other factors that are outside of the control of the minority, but in control of us, the native Europeans. So native Europeans are responsible for their own actions, but so-called minorities are not. For example, imagine a white Dutch man steals money from a shop. He got punished and everyone condemns him. What a scumbag. But then a brown second generation migrant from Morocco steals money from a shop and he gets a mild punishment and nobody dares to condemn him. Because it is also because there is a lot of discrimination and he probably felt underappreciated, and it only proves how intolerant the Netherlands still is. Homosexual people are beaten up in Poland. This is terrible. Damn those horrible homophobe white Poles. Homosexuals are beaten up in Egypt. Well, Egypt got colonized and this caused a delay in their cultural development, and the economy is bad because of how bad the West is. So this is all to blame on the West. So see how bad white Westerners are? In the First and Second Congo Wars, up to 6 million people were killed. This is all to blame on the Europeans, because they robbed Africa and created the bad geopolitical and socio-economic circumstances that led to the two Congo Wars. So see how bad the Europeans are? But of course the Second World War was all the fault of the horrible white Germans. However, if the Germans were black, then it would not have been the fault of the black Germans, but instead the fault of the British and the French, who created the bad socio-economic circumstances in Germany, by forcing them to pay for the damage of the First World War. So see how bad the white Europeans are? These French and British people are such racists to just blame everything on the black Germans. A native British man rapes his wife. His entire town condemns him. A Muslim migrant rapes his wife and nobody dares to talk about it. Because there is a lot of racism and discrimination which prevented him from getting a job, and this must have contributed to a general feeling of unfairness which then caused him to rape his wife. Right. So see how bad the white Brits are? Marc Dutroux, the Belgian serial killer and child molester, who abused 6 girls between the age of 8 and 19 and killed 4 of them. A horrible monster. The entire country still feels ashamed. It truly was a terrible scandal and it should never happen again. Muslim grooming gangs raping underage British girls all over the UK. 1400 girls in Rotterdam, another 700 girls in Newcastle, and multiple cases in Bristol, Derby, Oxford, Huddersfield, Peterborough, Telford and Keighley. And all this could just be the tip of the iceberg. So not just 6 girls, but well over 2000. It is also because of the foreign policy element and a delayed response to the Danish cartoons of 2005 and bad socio-economic circumstances. And it is difficult to integrate because of all the racism and bigotry and Brexit and So it must be the oppressive white Brits that drove these poor men to behave in such a manner. So see how bad the white Brits are? Israeli soldiers beat up a Palestinian terrorist. See how oppressive these Israelis are? Such evil. Palestinian terrorists blow up a school, killing 50 Jewish children. This is all a backlash against the bad geopolitical circumstances created by Israel and their horrible American allies. How could they not have done it? This just proves how bad Western civilization is. However, if Jewish people were black, and then a bunch of black Israeli soldiers would beat up a Palestinian terrorist, then it would be the fault of the white Europeans, and especially of the Germans, because they've been prosecuting the Jews, causing them a lot of trauma, which now 2 generations later drives them to behave in this manner towards the Palestinians. So see how bad the white Europeans are? It is all the fault of the white Europeans. Damn these Hungarians building a wall around their country to protect their underage women. That is so racist. See how racist white people are? However, if the Hungarians were black, then it would be all the fault of the Russians. Why? Because they've oppressed them for decades with their oppressive white communist regime. And now the poor black Hungarians have become so scared that they've built a wall on their border. So see how bad white people are? And by the way, who are you to judge them for building a wall? You judging them for building a wall is just a form of your colonial thinking and proves how racist you are. See how bad white people are? Poverty in Africa. Horrible. All the fault of the white people. See how bad white people are? But if Africans were white, then I mean, look at them. Just look at them. They're just doing nothing. Look at these lazy, entitled white people doing nothing. They're just doing nothing. See how bad white people are? Homosexuals are beaten up in Russia. That is horrible. See how bad white people are? But if the Russians were black and the Mongols were white, then it would all be to blame on the Mongols, because these white Mongols conquered the Russians and ruled over them, causing them a lot of delay in their spiritual development, which ultimately led to them beating up homosexuals. So see how bad white people are? Yes, people, this is how ridiculous the double standard of political correctness is. And it is not only ridiculous, it is actually a form of racism. Not fake racism, but real racism. The assumption that the behavior of non-whites is a mere result of their external circumstances and that they aren't responsible for their own actions is actually very racist. And it is probably even a form of colonial thinking, real colonial thinking, because members of the religion of political correctness believe that they can determine how brown and black people around the world behave just by changing some external variables. Politically correct people really believe that they are responsible for the behavior of Africans right now. And they deny the fact that every person, no matter his or her race, is responsible for his or her own actions. So no lefties, brown and black people are no mindless machines who act in a certain way based on their external circumstances. Sorry lefties, they aren't. So stop being so racist and start accepting that people of color are in fact in perfect control of their own behavior. This is Paul from debatetheleft.com. If you like the content, please subscribe or consider supporting my work through Patreon. And most importantly, never stop debating the left on Islam. Take care.